The cold January morning of 2021 wrapped Louisville in a blanket of fog as the Kentucky Humane Society team prepared for another day of work. Among the staff, Carla, a young veterinarian, hurried through the parking lot, her heart heavy with the anticipation of another day filled with challenges. But what awaited her was lying in a shadowy corner of the premises. There, lying on the cold concrete, was Ethan, a pit bull who seemed forgotten by the world. His thin body, covered in wounds, told a story of a fierce struggle for survival. Carla stopped, her eyes widening as she realized the dog was not moving. Heart pounding, she approached him, calling softly, "Hey, buddy, can you hear me?" The dog barely opened his eyes, his breathing weak and almost inaudible. A wave of anguish overtook Carla. "We need help," she yelled, running back to the shelter. "Someone, come quickly. There's a pit bull in the parking lot, and he's not okay." Carla's colleagues, hearing her call, rushed to the scene. Soon, a group gathered around Ethan, who remained motionless. "What should we do?" asked Mark, one of the more experienced veterinarians. "We need to get him inside now," Carla replied, already kneeling beside the dog. Carefully, they placed him on a stretcher, their hands trembling as they wondered if there was still hope. As they brought him into the shelter, Ethan seemed to be fighting for his life. The veterinarians prepared to act quickly, while Carla held the dog's head, whispering words of encouragement. "You're going to be okay, I promise. We're here to help you." The tension in the air was palpable, and everyone knew that time was a relentless enemy. The team moved in a frenzy, with nervous smiles and worried eyes. "He's so weak," said a nurse as she connected an IV to the dog. Carla, tears in her eyes, watched Ethan struggle to breathe. "Please, don't give up on us, Ethan," she murmured. Then, in what felt like a miraculous moment, the pit bull let out a small sigh, a sign of life that made everyone exchange hopeful glances, their spirits lifted. The determination to save this dog had only just begun. The shelter's lights glowed softly under the morning light, reflecting the hope starting to bloom in the team's hearts. Ethan, now in a cozy corner of the veterinary clinic, was surrounded by warm blankets. His breathing had become more stable, though still fragile. Dr. Clara gently ran her fingers over the pit bull's head, observing his every small movement. "You're fighting, aren't you, little one?" she whispered, a tender smile on her lips. Her heart filled with joy as she witnessed the strength emanating from this small creature. Days passed, and the team grew more dedicated. Jorge, one of the caretakers known for his patience, sat beside Ethan, offering him small bites of food. "Come on, buddy, this is good for you," he said in a soothing voice. The dog, still low on energy, looked at Jorge with big, hopeful eyes. When he managed a small lick of the food, Jorge couldn't contain his excitement. "That's it, Ethan. You're getting better." After a week of intensive care, Ethan began to move slowly. The team celebrated every small victory. In one moment, as he tried to stand, he wagged his tail for the first time. The enthusiasm was contagious. "Look at that. He's moving," shouted Lisa, another caretaker, as everyone gathered around the dog. "This is amazing, Ethan." "You're a fighter," exclaimed Clara, tears of joy streaming down her face. Social media quickly picked up Ethan's story. Photos and updates about his progress began circulating, attracting attention from people everywhere. One morning, a video of Ethan wagging his tail was posted, and within hours, it went viral. "Look at this. He's so happy," said Jorge, watching the flood of positive comments. "People really care," Lisa remarked as the shelter started receiving messages of support and donations. The shelter, once just a rescue site, was transforming into a beacon of hope and love, with Ethan as the symbol of a second chance for countless other animals. Ethan was finally home, surrounded by an air of hope that once seemed so distant. Jeff Calloway, his new guardian, watched the dog with a mix of joy and nervousness, eager for everything to work out. "Are you ready for your new life, Ethan?" Jeff asked, sitting on the living room floor and calling the pit bull closer. Ethan responded by wagging his tail, his eyes shining with a mix of curiosity and gratitude. The first few days weren't easy. Ethan moved cautiously around the house as if still unsure whether this was truly his new home. Jeff had prepared a cozy space for him, complete with a soft bed and colorful toys, but the dog hesitated to explore. "Come on, buddy. No need to be afraid. This place is safe, Jeff said, encouraging him with a gentle voice. One morning, as Jeff made coffee, Ethan decided to take a bold step. He approached the table, sniffing the floor, when a sudden noise made him retreat. It's okay, Ethan. It's just the coffee maker, Jeff said, laughing at the dog's reaction. Over time, Ethan started to relax, gliding down the hallway and exploring every corner of the house. His confidence grew each day, and before long, he was running through the living room, grabbing a toy and bringing it to Jeff with a playful look. One afternoon, Jeff decided to take Ethan to the park. It was a sunny day, filled with the laughter of children playing. Let's go, Ethan. Time to explore the world out there, Jeff exclaimed as he put the leash on the dog. At the park, Ethan seemed a little hesitant at first, but curiosity quickly took over. When he had the chance, he began running, his agile body moving gracefully. As they played, a group of children approached, drawn by Ethan's infectious energy. Look, he's so beautiful, said a curly-haired little girl as she crouched to pet the dog. Instead of pulling away, Ethan wagged his tail and moved closer, seeking affection. He's a hero, Jeff said proudly. You have no idea how much he fought to be here today. The laughter and smiles of children lit up the park. Ethan, now more confident, jumped and ran around them as if he knew he had found a place where he was loved and accepted. Jeff watched the scene, a wide smile on his face, realizing that Ethan was not just a pet. He was a symbol of love and resilience. You're a true champion, Ethan, Jeff murmured to himself as the dog enjoyed the moment, bringing joy not only to him but to everyone around. The auditorium was packed with eager people, all gathered for an event that promised not only to raise funds but also to inspire. Ethan, now a healthy and vibrant dog, sat beside Jeff, his new owner, who looked at his four-legged friend with pride. The atmosphere was electric, and Ethan, with his sweet gaze and wagging tail, seemed to understand the significance of the moment. Today, we celebrate not only Ethan's life but also the lives of many other animals still in need of help, said the Kentucky Humane Society director, her voice resonating through the microphone. The audience applauded, and Ethan, in a demonstration of his loving character, stood up and wagged his tail as if he wanted to join in the celebration. He's such an inspiration, a woman in the crowd murmured, wiping a tear as she watched Ethan with admiration. Jeff, noticing the audience's emotion, decided it was time to share the story of how Ethan had become a symbol of hope. When I found Ethan, he was on the brink of death, Jeff began, his voice steady but laden with emotion. He fought against all odds, and every small progress he made was a victory. It taught me that, even in the darkest situations, hope should never be lost. The audience listened intently, many with tears in their eyes. This event isn't just about raising money. It's about making a difference in the lives of animals who, like Ethan, deserve a second chance, he continued. Soon, the event's highlight arrived. Ethan was called to the stage. He walked confidently, drawing looks of love and admiration. Greeted by a standing ovation, he seemed like a true hero. Let's kick off the Ethan Alike Fund, announced the director, and the crowd erupted in applause. The fund would help other animals facing situations similar to Ethan's. Donations began pouring in, and with every amount announced, the enthusiasm grew. This is just the beginning, Jeff said, looking at Ethan, whose contagious energy was the true star of the event. The light radiating from the dog was a powerful reminder that determination and love could indeed change lives. At the end of the night, Ethan was honored with a special moment. He received a Medal of Honor, symbolizing his journey and his role as a beacon of hope. Jeff, emotional, knelt beside Ethan. You're a true champion, my friend, he whispered as the crowd gave a standing ovation. Ethan, with shining eyes and a wagging tail, seemed to understand that his fight had created a powerful legacy. Once forgotten and abandoned, he had now become a symbol of love and resilience. The Hero Dog Awards night was illuminated with a special glow. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, and the guests, dressed in their finest, filled the venue. At the center of the stage, Ethan, the pit bull who had overcome so much, was about to be honored as Dog of the Year. His coat gleamed under the lights, and his gaze conveyed a mix of curiosity and joy. Jeff Calloway, his caregiver and best friend, watched with a smile as Ethan prepared to take the stage. "Are you ready, buddy?" he asked, stroking the dog's head. Ethan responded with a gentle wag of his tail, as if understanding the importance of the moment. As Ethan stepped onto the stage, a wave of applause echoed through the room. Everyone rose to their feet, applauding the resilience and courage of the animal who had become a symbol of hope for so many. Jeff's heart swelled, not just with pride but with the memories of the journey they had shared. During the ceremony, Jeff was invited to speak. He approached the microphone, nearly overwhelmed by emotion. "Good evening, everyone. Today, we celebrate not only Ethan but all the animals who face adversity. Compassion and fighting for their rights are essential. Each of you here makes a difference. Ethan taught me that, even in the darkest moments, the light of hope can shine." Jeff's words resonated throughout the room, and a respectful silence followed. He continued, "Ethan is not just a dog. He is an example of unconditional love and resilience. May we always remember to fight for those who have no voice." The applause erupted again, and many rose for another standing ovation. As the celebration continued, a woman with disheveled brown hair and a sorrowful, hesitant expression approached the backstage area. She watched the scene with tears streaming down her face, clearly moved. The air was filled with joy, but also with the weight of a past she could not escape. She took a deep breath, determined to confront what she had done. "Ethan," she murmured to herself, remembering how she had abandoned the dog who now inspired so many. The woman knew she had to face her past and resolutely made her way to the side of the stage, where Jeff and Ethan stood, celebrating the triumph of love and hope. The atmosphere at the Hero Dog Awards became even more poignant when the woman timidly approached Jeff. Her eyes were filled with regret, and tears streamed down her face as she said, "I'm Ethan's former owner. I abandoned him, and I've never forgiven myself for it." Her voice trembled, but there was a palpable sincerity in her words. Jeff, taken aback, looked at Ethan, who wagged his tail as if curious about the new figure before him. "Why are you here now?" Jeff asked cautiously. After everything that happened, he remembered the pain Ethan had endured and didn't want the woman to cause more harm. "I saw his story on social media. I followed his recovery and how he became a symbol of hope. I knew I had to come. I want to help, to make a difference," the woman responded, her voice breaking. "I know I can't erase what I did, but I want to contribute to the cause he represents." Ethan, sensing the tension, approached the woman and looked into her eyes as if recognizing the pain she carried. He sat beside her, resting his head on her lap. The woman let out a deep sigh, stroking the pit bull's head. "Oh, Ethan, I miss you so much. I should have done better for you." Jeff, watching the interaction, began to soften. "If you really want to help, maybe there's a way to turn your pain into action. The Ethan Alike Fund needs support and resources to help other animals in critical situations. Would you be willing to join us?" The woman's eyes lit up with hope. "Yes, I want to. I promise to do everything I can." The scene culminated in a symbolic moment. Everyone gathered for a historic photo. The woman, now part of the Ethan Alike Fund team, stood beside Jeff and Ethan. They smiled, representing a new era of compassion and redemption. Surrounded by love, Ethan seemed to understand that even after pain, a new beginning was possible. The image captured not just a reunion but the promise of a future where everyone could fight for animal rights and find hope amid adversity.